Welcome to the Ohio Business Podcast. I'm Stephen Pohl. We are joined by a Pennsylvania business, a streetwear company that I love dearly. I'm joined with Charlie Riley, the owner, founder, I believe, of Bleachd. Thanks for coming on.
How are we?
I'm repping the shirt as we speak. It is the maroon. What is it?
It's the maroon industrial logo.
So how about you give us a little background, how you guys came up, what was the influences, all that jazz?
Yeah, so basically this kind of started with an idea I had of, an obsession I had with design and fashion, and more specifically streetwear. So just this idea I had of just always wanting to start and create this brand, and I just didn't know how to do it. And I had brought this idea up to a couple of friends and just simply asked, like, what are your thoughts on this? Like, do you think this is something I could do? Not specifically Bleachd, but like starting a streetwear brand in general, and asking them if this was something that they thought was tangible and something that I could start from nothing. And basically everyone I talked to, they said, yeah, dude, like, I mean, if there's anyone that we see doing this, we see you doing it. So I kind of got that little push to actually start it. And that's how Bleachd was founded, with an idea that I actually started with my original partner, who is no longer in the picture. Just this idea of how we thought bleaching clothes could be cool, and it was something different, something that we never really saw. And then all of a sudden now it's trending. But yeah, so I was stuck on the name, and I had this idea, and my buddy was like, well, why don't you just name it Bleachd? And I was like, wow, I never really thought about that.
Simple.
It was like sitting right there in front of me, and I never really thought about that. But it kind of clicked. I was like, yeah, I didn't even hesitate to think. I was like, I think that's it. And the next day I went into my lab at school and just started designing, creating, coming up with ideas. And that's how we were born. We like to say we're a community, and we're based off this concept of being individual and how it's important to be yourself. And I feel like that goes hand in hand with streetwear a lot of the times. How, society always tries to confine you into these limits of what you can and can't wear. And I think a lot of the times people they're discouraged, and they try to confine themselves into what they want to wear and what society portrays you, like what you should be able to wear and what you can't wear. And that's something I think is important with streetwear, and that's important that I think people should know, is that streetwear can be anything. So we like to say that we're this brand that is based off of this community of being individual, and like our bleaching and dyeing techniques, no one person is the same, like our shirts. So that's kind of where we get that inspiration from.
Beautiful. I love that idea that you're trying to promote, just, wear what you want. Because I feel like a lot of people just don't. I've always just, like I said, fuck it. I'm going to throw out whatever. I don't like, I'll attract who I attract through my personality, but I'll throw on some weird stuff every now and then. So I love that idea, and you guys promoted it through that. So what was kind of how did you kind of get into that streetwear idea? What were your influences?
Honestly, I think it just started with a love and passion for shoes. Jordans, Nike SBs, which eventually developed into me looking more into streetwear fashion and getting more into that culture of clothing and lifestyle. So I think just that whole culmination of shoes that developed into clothing, that developed into kind of like a way of life, it kind of shaped me and influenced me on Bleach'd and how I kind of came up with this obsession with designing, creating, and streetwear. I mean, I went to school for graphic design. I graduated with a degree in design. So since I was a little kid, just like being creative and like always designing using my hands was always something I was big on. You know, I'm not like the most smart in a sense when it comes to books, but like if you show me something, I can visualize it and make it come to life. So that's kind of where I got these influences from. And like, you know, like music and just a bunch of different things. So that's kind of how it started.
Nice. I think I don't think book smart has to do anything with running a business. It's all about just believing it, being dumb enough to believe in yourself that you could actually make a living in today. Like that's the smartest thing anybody can do, in my opinion. There's always some type of market for whatever you put out there now, especially with the internet. So,
Yeah.
I think that's the smartest thing you can do. How big is Bleach'd? How many people are you working with on creating this product?
So I brought on originally a team of 4. So I had this partner, and we brought on 3 guys. So there was a team of 5 of us, and things weren't meshing right. So we let him go. So now it's me and this very solid team of 4 or 3 other guys, 4 of us all together. And that makes up Bleach'd. I have me as a designer, kind of like the CEO. I have my marketing guy. He's also big in IT. So he's very smart and intelligent and knowledgeable about the internet, and like he runs our website. I have my photographer, Joe, who also runs our PR and takes care of the social media parts of things. And then I have Ben, who is my finance guy, strictly business. You know, he's the guy that sits down and grinds out the LLC for us and like kind of weighs out our options on what's the smartest business move to make, keeps track of our money, budgets our money. So it's a good team of 4 guys that we all mesh really well together, and I'm enjoying every part of the process with them. So
from the social media angle, what platforms are you guys utilizing right now? I know Instagram for sure, but
Instagram is 100% our biggest platform of getting out all of our content and our information, hands down. But you can also find us on Facebook. We try to link our posts on Instagram with our Facebook, so they're kind of like the same. And then we have our Twitter, which is kind of just like stagnant right now, just sits there. And then we have our website where you can go visit and go purchase our stuff. So, but yeah, Instagram is definitely our biggest platform, and Facebook and Twitter. So, and then word of mouth.
Mm-hmm. What's been how's the reception been from just the community that you've grown, just releasing, because you've had 2 releases, right?
We've had 3. We had our top one, and then we had a mid drop, which we'll do periodically, just smaller drops that are kind of midway through 2 big drops, and then we've had drop 2. So
what was kind of the reception from your community when you made those, at least the big drops?
Everything has been positive, bro. Everything has just been like, we've just received insane amounts of positive feedback and growth. I mean, we started this 4 short months ago, and I feel like we've come such a long way in such a little time. It's crazy. And I think everyone is supporting us and backing us immensely, and everyone just kind of like sees what we're doing and really appreciates that step we're taking into trying to make something out of this. So it's been nothing but positive feedback from our support end of things, you know.
Are you guys sold out of everything of that drop 2?
We are, actually.
Nice.
So it
Nice.
took us a little over a week. We weren't expecting any kind of crazy sellout within like an hour or whatnot, but
Well, the hats and the shirts did, didn't they?
the hats and the shirts did. We were actually together when that all
Yeah.
happened in West
Yeah.
Virginia.
I think that's what's really impressive is that, I mean, that's like your base. That's your base product is the shirts, the tie dye shirts. I mean, the crew necks and this shirt are like, I feel like more outside of your zone. So them not selling out is maybe to be expected, I guess, from outside looking in. But I think it's impressive that you guys sold all those shirts and those hats. I mean, that's crazy that
We
quickly.
we were blown away. We couldn't believe. I mean, we were together in West Virginia, didn't have service, cliff diving out in the mountains. And then we finally get back to our campsite and my phone's just blowing up with the messages in our group chat going off about holy fuck, the shirts are going,
Yeah.
they're selling like 50 items in 10 minutes. We were like, oh my God, like it was crazy. And we realized that our what people want the most and what we have the highest demand for is our bleaching and dyeing shirts, our signature shirts. So
Hmm.
it's cool to see that stuff and how it all unfolds.
Hmm. Well, definitely, you put in the work and then a return like that, that's incentivizing to say the least.
Yeah.
For the next drop, what do you guys have anything planned out yet? Maybe new products, maybe outside of clothing.
So yeah, we've been talking a lot about drop 3 and what we want to do for that. And I don't want to give away too much, but the theme of drop 3, you can expect us to kind of like hone back on what we're, what we're most proud of and our signature stuff. So you're going to see a lot of original pieces with this next drop. And it's going to be pretty cool. So, and you might even see an accessory here.
Ooh,
So
ooh, big
yeah,
time. That's pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Would you guys ever is it long maybe down the road maybe shoes?
Shoes, that's something I've always thought of, like shoes, can we do it? Um, Honestly, I think that will be the one thing that we will kind of stay away from. I mean, I don't know the future. I don't know
Hmm.
what will happen, but for now, my thoughts on shoes is kind of like I'll let like, the shoes take care of themselves and my clothes can kind of complement whatever shoes you wear, or
Hmm.
I don't know if I want to step into that realm of designing, because that's a hard subject that you're talking about right there.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I read some book about how Nike started, and then you're dealing with manufacturers. It's a whole
Yeah,
process. So
I don't even know how I'd go about making a shoe. Like,
yeah, that'd be sick though,
we don't have
man.
to
If
get a
you
bunch
if
of
you
scrap
I
leather.
would cop some bleach shoes of day one, dude. That'd be sick. But I don't want to project or whatever. But so what's the process of creating the product? The bleaching process.
Um, yeah, so basically we want to stay as authentic and original as we can. So we all hand bleach and dye the shirts ourselves. Basically what we've done, I mean, with COVID going on right now, it's kind of been hard to get together. We've basically started this brand remotely and have been working remotely ever since the start of things. We met up once to make our shirts for drop 2. But yeah, the bleaching and dyeing process basically comes down to just us getting together. And I mean, we look at a whole bunch of different bleaching and dyeing techniques and designs, and we kind of pick what we feel best goes with the drop, and we make them.
Hmm.
We made them. Last drop was in Joe's garage. I mean, I've done them in my basements. So yeah.
Awesome. How many drops are you guys planning to do per year?
Um, That's a good question. And that's something, I mean, that's something I've thought about. And like, we keep doing drop after drop. And, you know, you look at these streetwear brands like Supreme or Kith, and like Supreme, if you go on their site right now, their site's shut down because they're not doing any more drops for spring and they're waiting for fall and winter of 2020. So that's like something I think about every now and then. Like, should we be dropping constantly? Should we have a certain amount of drops per year? Right now, I don't know. And right now, I think we just need to keep focusing on the drops because that's the only way we're going to create revenue to be able to make more drops. So as of right now, I think we're kind of just taking it drop by drop and seeing how well we receive that feedback from our community and how well people are responding to our drops. So I think it's just all going to be based off of that.
Mm-hmm. I feel like if I was in your position, my biggest concern would be getting fresh eyeballs onto the Instagram page, and then make sure you sell out by the time. I don't know if you can keep selling to the same people. So is that like a big challenge you guys face? Is getting those fresh eyeballs?
Yeah, it is a challenge. Kind of getting out of that comfort zone of that support group that we have right now and kind of reaching out towards that following of people we don't know. You know, like the people buying and supporting us right now are people we know. And the hardest part is going to be getting out of that and getting people from all over buying our stuff. And that just all comes down to the right marketing and the right advertising and things that we've looked into: Instagram advertising, Facebook advertising, just getting the word out, people we know, building relations and connections with important people that we know. I mean, you sat down at our 747 collaboration dinner with my cousin Chris, and that's a huge relationship that we have to maintain throughout this whole thing because his reach is so big. So I think it's just going to come down to us keeping those relationships and building those relationships and connections. And honestly, I think that's going to be the biggest way of us getting out there and getting known, is just by word of mouth and people talking about us. So that's something important that we are constantly looking at and thinking about, and how we're going to grow in that aspect. But it's hard. It's hard for sure.
Yeah. I mean, building a community takes time. I mean, I feel like you guys have a great community for how short you've been alive. So, exactly. I mean, that's impressive.
You know, it's been a short 4 months that we've been a thing, and we've already seen such immense growth in such little time. So I'm proud of where we've come, but I'm still eager and hungry to get bigger and get more known, you know.
Of course. How, from the marketing side of things, what have you guys been focusing on? And are you guys doing anything like kind of, guerrilla tactics, are you guys planning on doing something, what's your marketing from a advertisement standpoint right now?
From that standpoint, I think our biggest thing is kind of keeping our following, keeping them, how do I want to put this? Keeping them in touch with what we're doing and not having them sit around and wait. We don't want to lose that. We don't want to lose that. What am I going to say? We don't want to lose like that. You know what I'm saying?
The relationship that.
We don't want to lose like that. What do you call it? Scrap it. We don't want to lose touch with our followers, and that's going to be the biggest thing, is just always keeping them in the loop with what we're doing. You know, we have our posts of the actual stuff we're creating, and then we have our posts of just like, we call them just like filler posts, just things that kind of like keep you on the edge of your seat and keeping you reeled in at all times, you know, whether that be showing a logo for an upcoming drop or design, or just kind of keeping them wanting to know more, you know?
Yeah, just wanting more. Yeah.
So we don't want to give ourselves away fully, because we want to stay exclusive, you know, because that's important to us. But we don't want to totally not be in touch with our followers and have them just wondering, you know, what the hell is going on with us. So
what has been the most difficult part of starting Bleachd?
Honestly, I think the most difficult part of starting Bleachd was literally just starting it. I think I just needed that push from my team to be like, hey, like, do you want to do this? And that's what it came down to, was basically me not knowing when to do it, or like not knowing the right time. And my friends kind of just being like, you know, we have COVID going on right now. This is kind of like the perfect opportunity. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Let's do this thing. And we kind of just took off and went with it and haven't stopped since.
I mean, that's impressive. I mean, this is probably the best time to do it. If you don't have, you know, you just graduated, right? So it's perfect timing, in my opinion.
Exactly. We like to say that COVID was almost a blessing in disguise, you know?
Yeah.
It was like that right opportunity to, like, we all have that availability in that time. Whereas if it didn't happen, who knows where we would have been or what we would have been doing. So we just saw it as the right time to kind of jumpstart this thing and get it going.
What's the biggest expense for you guys? Is it, you know, t-shirts, products, you know, website, like what marketing? What's the biggest expense?
Biggest expense by far is the products that we're buying from the manufacturers to make our clothing. That's
okay.
By far the most expensive part of each drop. And I was just sitting down with Ben the other day, and we were going over budgeting for drop 3. And I think we were realizing as we were budgeting that the most important thing with all this is that we're going to have to budget by drop. We can't like kind of look at the end of the season and predict our forecast, and see kind of like know where we're going to be then and budget for then. It's one of those things where, I mean, for now at the start of all of this, we're going to have to kind of be budgeting by drop. And by far the biggest part of that whole thing is budgeting for our clothing and products that we wear. So
you guys how do you do your shipping?
We all ship it ourselves. So whether it's me taking a portion of the drop, or another one of the guys, we kind of like divvy up the products just to make it easier on the load, not putting it all on one person. And when we have our drops, we go on our website, we check out the orders, and then we ship everything ourselves and send it out.
Okay, nice. Boots on the ground, baby. I love it.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Is there anything that you kind of want to touch on as we wrap this up?
Are we wrapping this up?
Yeah. We're at like 30 minutes, I think.
Wow, really? That kind of went really fast.
Maybe. I don't know what we're at. Let me see when I texted you. I got some other questions, but yeah, we're almost at 30.
If I were to wrap this up, things I want to highlight, drop 3 in the works. So definitely.
What's the estimate on when that's coming out?
If I were to look at what we're doing right now, what we've done so far, and predict when drop 3 will happen, I'm going to say it will be right around Labor Day. That might be kind of a stretch. It might be a week past. But yeah, right around like the beginning of September, back to school kind of time. So that's when you should be looking for drop 3. But we're excited, and it's the support from like you guys that helps us keep moving forward and wanting to keep doing this. So, I mean, if it wasn't for you guys and our support, we wouldn't be doing this right now. So.
I swear to God, I don't know. I don't understand why people don't support their homies. Like, if my goddamn friend's brother is gonna like try to start some business, I'll buy the product. Like, I love that. Like, my homie is trying to survive off his own, talent. Like, why would I not support that? I don't.
Absolutely. I 100%.
That's how we probably became, friends. Like, I knew you through Alex, so I was like, yo, I'll throw I got anything on my Instagram story, whatever, man. Like, I love that. I love what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. And likewise with you. I love Clay.
Yeah.
Big fan of Clay.
Yeah, baby.
I mean, if you made merch, I know you have in the past. I know Alex has that penny that he wears. If you make merch, I'm buying it and supporting you and doing anything I can to support. Because, I mean, that's how we survive out here. These local businesses.
Yeah, I got a shop I work with back where I'm from, not in Columbus, and she's gonna do a podcast with me, but we're gonna do it in September, and I'm gonna probably buy some T-shirts from her then. So that's I'll let you know. So
that's funny, but yeah, let me know. Keep me in the loop.
Yeah, I guess we're competition in that regard, huh? I always joke that Clay Financial was just a merch company with like the aesthetic was finance. Like
the aesthetic was finance.
But if you could tell, like, what's some advice to anybody, to any entrepreneurs out there, want to be entrepreneurs or just entrepreneurs in general? What would you give out as advice?
I mean, from what I've learned so far, and I'm so new with all this, and I learn new things every day as I go about this business and everything. But one thing I would say is don't be afraid to just kind of shoot for your dreams, man. There might be people along the way that are going to knock you down and discourage you, but just keep grinding and keep looking towards the positive side of things, and things will work out,
Would you say you've learned more just through doing this than probably like any other job that you've had?
I think so, honestly. Like I said, I'm learning stuff every day, so it's cool to see where we've come and where I've come. So
now, from a content perspective, are you guys doing like any blog posts? Are you guys doing TikToks? What do you guys are you guys planning on doing anything like that? Because I would love to see that from you guys.
That is another good point that you did brought up that I forgot to mention. We actually do have a TikTok. We aren't like we haven't been like crazy serious about it, but we realized like with the power of TikTok right now how huge things can be if we like get that certain attraction on TikTok, if we get like that certain post or whatnot that could like blow us up or whatnot. But I think TikTok is definitely something that we're going to utilize here in the near future, because it's just so relevant nowadays. Like right now in this time, everyone and their fucking mother is using TikTok.
Dude, I'm telling you, you guys need to be focusing on that. Like, well, Instagram obviously, but like TikTok, like I've seen, like, so you can blow up so easily. I feel not easily, but if a
not easily, but
video, but
yes, you can
get traction. People will buy your product off of that site quickly. I swear.
100%. Funny story. Um, just by word of mouth, someone heard about us, who started this TikTok like startup business. So they pair TikTokers that are trying to make it with startup businesses that are also trying to make it, and use one another to like work off each other and gain attraction in that sense. And we actually had this company reach out to us, wanting to pair us with a TikToker. Um, and I
It's not
guess
a bad idea.
it's not a bad idea. Um, it wasn't like it was. I think it had to deal with me paying her as well and giving her free merch. So I don't know how I'm benefiting, and if I'm getting the right amount of exposure I need. That's all, you know, not necessary. But I thought it was interesting how this idea of like feeding off one another and trying to like gain exposure off one another. I thought that was interesting, and definitely something to think about for the future. But we'll see.
Yeah, I feel for your type of business, matching with influencers is like key.
It is key, honestly, and that's going to be something in the future that I think could be vital towards our business.
Well,
Yeah.
well, how can people find you? How can they find your personal page? How can they find Bleach'd?
Like I said, Instagram is our biggest platform. That's where we're keeping you up to date with what we're doing and the most frequently. So definitely you can follow us on our Instagram. That's at bleachd.apparel. No apostrophe D, because you can't have apostrophes in the username or the handle. My personal Instagram, you can find me at Charlie_Riley14, I think it is. We're on Facebook. Just type in Bleachd Apparel. Our website's linked on our Instagram. Our domain is bleachedapparel.com. So that's how you can find us, basically Bleachd Apparel. But Instagram is definitely, if you're looking to follow us, that's where you should go follow us. If you have an Instagram, go follow us on there, because that's where we post the most content, and that's where we're talking to you guys the most on.
Well, Charlie Riley, everybody, the hottest streetwear coming up right now. I swear to God, I love this shirt. I love it.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, man. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, of course. And there's more to come, so stay tuned.
100%.